Alright guys, I got the Sig Romeo X Pro out at the range. I'm going to do a review on the AXG Legion as well. As you see, we put a couple of shorts up on it. I cannot believe that I have bought this optic again. I had the just a standard micro version, so I guess the Romeo X. This is the Romeo X Pro. And as you know, if you watch the channel, we had to send one of them back because the glass was getting impaled with casings, as that tends to happen on Sig. As it throws the casings back at you, it got a bunch of fine scratches in the glass, and it just made it so hazy I couldn't really see through it. And then we had another optic that we had to send back because the shake awake wouldn't work. It would go out and it wouldn't come back on. So I can't believe that I have bought another optic. Now I know there's guys out there singing the praises of this optic, and I feel like sometimes people get so loyal to a brand that they try to make excuses for the brand. And I'm not that person. I'm not that guy. I'm a CZ guy, but if a CZ has a problem, I'm gonna say as much. I'm not gonna be so loyal to the brand. In my opinion, so far, my experience with this optic has been that it's an absolute overpriced piece of junk. The EOTech's better, the Hollison's better, but what they do is they put in the Romeo, the RMR certainly better, but what they do is they put you in a place, especially with this Legion green, where my only option was to get 4-foot sights on here to be able to co-witness with getting a plate to put an RMR or something on here. And yes, the Romeo 1 and 2 will flush mount on here, but then again, you've got to get some suppressor height sights, and I didn't really want to do that with this Legion gray, take the chance of roughing it up. So I did notice as soon as I took it out of the box that it had a couple of those fine little scratches on the glass. Makes absolutely no sense to me. I can't understand for the life of me how that they made a Romeo 1, the OG Romeo 1, and I still have it on the gun to this day and the glass is perfectly clear. To me, the glass looks hazy in here. I do not like the dot. I've never been a fan of the 32 MOA circle around with the dot in the center. I understand if people like that. I totally get it. It's no problem. You like what you like. But as far as just clarity, dot clarity, glass clarity, this is an overpriced, no match for the RMR, the EOTech, the Hollison, not even close. But they kind of put you in a place where if you want a sexy flush fit, it doesn't stick off the sides of the gun, that you almost have to go with this. So I'm gonna try to get over the fact that there's a few fine scratches in there. It's really not distorting my view. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse than that. Hopefully the dot holds 0. And I think when I torque this thing on here, Sig, I believe, recommended 28 pounds. I did 26. It kind of sketched me out a little bit to put that much torque on it. Most of the time they're 12, 15 with most manufacturers. But I believe once I got it torqued on here, if this is a true 1/3 co-witness, which it looks like it is right in front of the dot. So hopefully first shot, it's right on the center where I'm aiming on the steel down there. Whether or not it'll be, I have no idea. I'm gonna back up to a mark that I made right here at exactly 15 yards, and let's just see how it does. So I was correct. It is dead center of that target. I had to make no adjustments to it. So that's pretty cool. As long as it holds 0. Well, it held 0 through one mag. I'm gonna get these other mags. Well, actually, I already have the other mags loaded up. So I'm gonna shoot on this other target over here just to be sure. Again, we're at 15 yards. I'm aiming for the dead center of that steel. That was an unbelievable group. But I'm gonna get over here on this other target, aim for the dead center, and make sure after I've verified that it was zeroed on the very first round, I'm gonna make sure That's, you know, because again the grouping kind of started to take on a 3-inch circle there. I'm gonna make sure that it did not get off after the 20 rounds after the first one. So it looks like so far it's holding 0. I'm not going to put you guys through the misery of watching me put about 100 rounds through this thing, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to make some shorts with that, but we'll be right back. We're going to get loaded up with a couple more mags. In the meantime, I'm going to let my wife shoot it. We're going to put a few more rounds through this thing and come back after about 100 rounds or so and verify that it's still holding 0. Hello guys, we're back from the range with the Romeo X Pro, and we did try to incorporate some of the shooting that we done off camera, and we ended up shooting the gun a ton for us in one sitting, because we went out there literally to review this optic and get a couple of some range content for a extensive review on the 6-hour AXG Legion. But we ended up putting 350, actually I think it ended up being like 372 rounds or something through this, because of all people, my wife enjoyed shooting this gun so much she kept asking me or telling me to load her up another magazine instead of a clip. You know, she'd tell me, load me up another mag, and she was really enjoying shooting this, and I could tell that she really was. So we, not with the optic, but the gun itself, and so we ended up putting 372 rounds, if I'm not mistaken, through this gun and this optic, of course. And at the end of that, it was still holding 0, dead center where we left it. So it did not lose 0 from the first round. It was dead on point to the last round. It did hold 0. The biggest thing for me was two things. One of the optics, the compact, the Romeo X, we had to send back because it was my wife's. It was on her Rose. You can go check that video out. Ended up having to send that one back because she put it in her purse, and she came home from work one day, and I just happened to pull it out of her purse. Was just going to check to see if the glass was scratched up, because one of them was that way. And when I pulled it out, I was like, did you turn your dot off? And she said, no, I didn't turn my dot off. I was like, well, why ain't it on? So I reached over and I turned it on. It came on. I laid it down on the table, and I allowed it to go off, go into sleep mode, if you will. And I tapped it, and picked it up, and it just wouldn't come on. So the shake awake was not working. And so I sent it back to Sig. They sent it back to me, did not tell me what they did, what was wrong with it, but miraculously it started working. You know, no explanation of whatsoever of why or how or anything. It just started working. It's still working now. And then we had another one, all three of the ones, including this one, so the two compacts and this one, have had what look like fine little scratches on the glass if you hold it into certain light or sunlight. All of them look, and I don't know why, it drives me crazy. The Romeo Zeros, when they initially came out, was that way as well. It just pees me off, because this, with tax, in some cases you can get up close to $500 for this optic. It is not worth $500. No way is it worth that kind of money.
But anyway, we had to send another one back because the glass scratched up so bad. As you've seen in the video there, I put a picture up. You can go back and check out our video on that optic. The glass scratched up so bad that it just became basically a haze, right? So sent it back. Again, got it back. Didn't tell me what they done. No explanation in the box. It just wasn't scratched anymore. Now, I haven't really shot that gun a ton since then. That's my Legion, my 365 Legion, and I don't know. Again, I haven't taken it out of the safe and shot it a lot. When I took this one out of the box, standing in the store, it was the only one they had. I held it up to the light, and you could see a couple, 1, 2 of those fine little scratches in the glass. I just don't understand that. I don't know what that's about, but that's what I seen. So we ended up sending that one back, getting another one with I'm assuming a new glass because it wasn't scratched anymore. So that was my big concern coming home and cleaning this optic. I haven't cleaned the gun yet, but I did clean the optic, and typically what I do is I'll run a little bit of water over the glass on the front side, and just to get any kind of like hard particles that may have built up, brass or something like that, and just to make sure it's all gone. And then I'll take a water-based foaming glass cleaner and some fresh Q-tips out of the Q-tip box, and I will, you know, get a little more detailed with the cleaning. And after doing that, other than the 2 little tiny, you know, hairline scratches or whatever was in the glass when I picked it up, that you really can only see if it's in bright sunlight or the light above me or something like that, are still there. But other than that, it didn't scratch up anymore. And as you can see from the video, it was being impaled with spent casing. So I'm glad that it didn't scratch up. And my overall assessment of it is it's not worth $450. It's not even worth $400 in my opinion, because it does flush mount, because it does look so uniform and perfect for the gun. I would say for that, you know, it might be worth $300, and the fact that it co-witnesses with the gun, right? But for me, and I asked my wife, I said, is it just me? But to me, the dot is nowhere near as crisp as, say, on a Trijicon RMR that you pay, you know, just about maybe $50 more for. Some cases the same price as this. The EOTech, which in my opinion has the cleanest glass and the crispest dot, the Delta Point, all of those have a better picture. The window on this is really small for a full-size gun, which kind of stinks. You know, on my full-size guns that are more range toys than anything else, I'd like to have a larger window. And so, but again, I did not want to take my relatively expensive upgrade in these Sig Light night sights off of here and put super tall sights in order to get me an RMR, or even the Sig Romeo X Pro. Didn't even want to do that. I just didn't want to change these sights. So because I got a co-witness with this one, I decided to go with it. It did hold 0 through 350 rounds. It does good enough, for sure. The dot was good enough to perform out at the range today. As you can see, it was very, very accurate. My wife really loved it, so I hope it stays that way. But I'm still a little bit bitter about the optic because I had to send 2 of them back. The price point is too high. The window is too small. The glass and the dot seem subpar to me, and I'm really, really curious to see how this glass holds up over time with going out to the range and really getting a lot of GSR on there and doing what we all do and wiping it with our shirt or towel, how it holds up. Either way, guys, I'm still on the fence about the optic. I just don't know. It did good for us today. It's still done well on the 365 and the 365 380 Rose that my wife has. Still doing okay. But the glass, to me, is suspect, and I guess time will tell is all I can say. The good thing for this gun is it'll be a nightstand truck gun. It's not something I'll carry a range toy, so it's likely not really going to see a lot of rough and tough on the optic, so I don't know, you know, if I'm gonna be able to test that long term. Either way, guys, make sure you go over, check out our website, pick up some G Squared hats. We got shirts, we got cups, coasters, keychains. We got what you want. Go over there, check it out, gsquaredtactical.com, and make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. It's the only way we can continue to keep doing this. Let everyone know where you can find the best blue collar YouTube reviews. Thanks and God bless.